All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This episode, we're going to be dealing with shrimp scampi. I'm going to show you how your upscale restaurant in your neighborhood will go about prepping and getting ready to serve shrimp scampi for your dinner time service. But instead of dinner time service, this is going to be my family's dinner. Turned out really well, so let's get into it. All right, here are the basic ingredients for the scampi. I took the shrimp shells off the shrimp. I didn't want to throw it away, so what I am doing with it, I am making a quick shrimp stock. I'm taking the shells, a little bit of butter, mirepoix, which is onion, celery, carrots. I'm adding a bay leaf and thyme. For this stock, you don't need to cook it very long. For anything with fish, under an hour will do, but this stock actually took me from start to finish 15 minutes. So basically you want to char the shells, high heat. I add a little bit of salt there as well. Add water, bring it up to a boil, let it boil for about 10-15 minutes. In the last 5 minutes, I added half a lemon because it just needed a little bit of an acidic flavor in there because it was too mild. Boom, boom. Strain everything out of the liquid and reserve the liquid for your pasta. So this is the first part of my mise en place setup. Everybody knows how to cook pasta. I'm not going to get into it. 10 minutes al dente. All right. You see everything there. It's shrimps, butter, garlic, onion. I had oversliced some lemon. I only wound up using one. Some chopped parsley, a small bottle of white wine, and my shrimp stock. So you want everything together because you don't want to be overcooking the shrimp if you're not prepared with everything. So that's why everything is a mise en place, set in its place and get ready. So the actual cooking of the dish is only about 5 minutes long, 10 minutes total to get everything heated up. Basically here, I'm putting the shrimp in butter. I'm searing it really, really fast to get some flavor into the pan. You want to build your flavor throughout the whole process. I am not cooking the shrimp through. I'm only doing about 75%. It still needs, after I'm done with it, it'll still need about 2 to 3 minutes to finish cooking. The reason why I'm doing this is because if you let the shrimp in while you're trying to get the sauce built for the scampi, it will overcook and it'll turn rubbery. So you just take the shrimp, put it aside, and you'll see, and coming up in the video, how the shrimp is still actually pretty translucent, but it just helps build the flavor profile. So I'm sauteing the garlic and onion, getting a little golden. Deglaze the pan with about a cup of white wine. I'm going to add my parsley. And through this process, you want to make sure you, at a few points, you taste it before you add too much of one thing or another. It's just by eye and experience of what I've been doing throughout my career. You want to make it so that it's flavorful, and you see there's a lot of broth. This is actually going to be a dinner for three of us, my wife and my stepson. It looks like a fair amount of liquid, but what it was, the stock was a little bit bland. So I wanted to take 2 minutes, and if you find you come across something like this, reducing it will increase the flavor profile. So I'm letting it simmer on near a medium-high boil for about 1.5 to 2 minutes before I went in with the pasta. I'm gonna put in all my ingredients with the whole butter and the shrimp. You can see the shrimp there is actually quite translucent and it's not very white, but everything at this point is 2 to 3 minutes away from being totally finished. And that was about 3 tablespoons of butter I added. And what's going to happen, you noticed how before I put the pasta in, the broth was it was just liquid. You will see at the end when we come up to plate up how that whole butter actually transform that liquid into a sauce, and it just coats, it makes it rich, it gives it just a nice flavor. Shrimp scampi is not a very difficult dish to do as long as you have everything prepared and set up in advance. Again, this whole dish from start to finish, from where I started searing the shrimp to, again, the actual plate setup, was only about 5 to 8 minutes. I really didn't time it, but it doesn't take that long at all. Right now I'm just making sure everything's incorporated, getting the butter through. You can see in the edge of the pan, you'll see the liquid, and you'll see it's actually starting to transform when it starts to boil. You'll notice that it's no longer a light frothy look. It's more of a creamier sauce. And yes, that is 1 more tablespoon of butter. And all said, for 3 people for this dish, it was about 3/4 of a pound of pasta that we used. I cooked a whole pound. You can see the extras there. And it was about 5 tablespoons of butter. And that's pretty much it for shrimp scampi. There's no really hard tricks to it. It's just making sure you sear the shrimp and the garlic and onion over high heat using the broth. If you don't have shrimp stock, or if you didn't buy shrimp with shells, you can actually use the pasta water, but it is going to have a different flavor. If you can use some sort of seafood stock, that will be good, even if you have to purchase it. If you don't have it, clam juice I've used works in a pinch. There's stocks, and then there's also like a lobster base that you can actually make a lobster broth out of along that line. You can use anything along that line, but authentic, it's shrimp all the way. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this setup. I'm just going to let it run. This is the plate up and serving it family style for dinner. Well, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.